So this question says parallelogram ABCD is similar to parallelogram PQRS. Whenever I see that, I'm going to think plug-in picture because it's describing something that can be drawn. So I'm going to draw two parallelograms and label them. Right? So I'm going to say this one is A, B, C, D, and this one is P, Q, R, and S. It goes on to say the length of each side of parallelogram PQRS is 2 times the length of its corresponding side of parallelogram ABCD. All right, so that means given how I've drawn this, if this is X, that would make this 2X. I'm making these sides congruent to each other. And if this were Y, that makes this 2Y. Okay, so again, it's very important to label as you plug in picture. The next sentence says the area of parallelogram ABCD is 5 square centimeters. All right, so the area here is 5. What is the area in square centimeters of parallelogram PQRS? So this is what the area that I don't know. So there is a rule that I remember, and hopefully you remember this as well. Whenever you have similar shapes, really any similar shape, the scale factor, right? And again, the scale factor here is that the parallelogram PQRS is 2 times the length, right? Which basically means it's 2 times the size overall. So that scale factor from parallelogram ABCD to parallelogram PQRS is 2x, right? I'll just say 2 times to make sure we're not confused. 2 times the size. Well, that scale factor can be used to determine the area as well as the volume, actually. So the volume is always going to be the scale factor squared, right? Or the square of the scale factor. So scale factor squared, not volume. I said volume. So I'm thinking about volume, I actually meant area. So the area is always equal to the scale factor squared, whereas the volume, even though this question isn't asking for that, but just make sure you write this down if you didn't know it already, is always the scale factor cubed. Okay, so that means this really is a knowledge question. So it's not really a difficult question if you know this, right? So because the question's asking for the area, and we know the area of this one is 5, then we know that the answer has to be the scale factor squared, which is 4, right? So scale factor is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we're going to multiply this area by 4 to find the missing area, which means this area here must be 20, and therefore our answer must be choice C. So hopefully that makes sense. The scale factor, and then you square it, and then you use that to figure out how much more than the original the new shape's area is. If, again, this were 3-dimensional and it asks for volume, we take that same scale factor, cube it, and then multiply that number by the original volume of the original shape. So the answer here is choice C, 20.